Good morning, everybody. We're reading through Acts 24, 25, 26 today. And, okay, I'll just tell you from the beginning that if you think the following Jesus is about making life easier for you here, you will not understand what I'm about to share. If you're one who understands that we've received everything, all the good stuff, it's already ours, we've received it. And we are here not for our own benefit, but for the benefit of others, then you will understand exactly what I'm saying to you today. Paul spent a lot of time in jail. When you read it, if you're not paying attention to how long they're talking about Paul being in jail, from the moment he was arrested in Jerusalem to the moment he appealed to Caesar, it sounds like it's a week or so. But when you realize that you're talking years, Paul was there for years in that jail. And all that time he was in that jail to give him the opportunity to present the good news to King Agrippa. It's just amazing. It's amazing when you think about that King Agrippa had heard about Paul. He had heard about the way, but he had not actually had somebody like Paul stand before him and present the good news of the kingdom. And here Paul was. Now, just look at it. God positioned Paul this way, but he had to take him through this long road of all this time in jail. It's not jail as we understand jail today, but still, he had no freedom. He was stuck there. He couldn't go anywhere. And here he had the opportunity to stand before King Agrippa, and he had a long time. He had the opportunity just to lay it all out and in such a beautiful way and present it to King Agrippa. And there are those among us who understand what that's like. They understand that there are times that God has to take them through some very trying times to get them into a position for a moment that they can't afford to miss, a moment that they need to be paying attention to. That moment, that brilliant moment that only our King could orchestrate. Only the Holy Spirit could get us into that place. But there has to be a willingness on our part, because we have this repulsion that we don't want to face loss. We don't want to face trying times. We don't want to go through hard times. But yet, if we're paying attention to the Spirit, and we're paying attention to the desire that He's put in our heart, we know what the right thing is to do. And that's all we can do. In our entire life here, all we can desire to do is do the right thing. We live in righteousness. And righteousness is making decisions based upon Father's heart. That's what righteousness is. According to Father's priority, according to Father's plan, we align ourselves and say there's nothing more important in my life than what my Father wants. I am here to carry out His will and to present that to other people. I've received everything that there is to receive. I already have that. I'm rich beyond anybody's understanding. I have all the blessings that there are. They're mine. They're mine. And we suffer because we don't necessarily know how to receive those blessings. It's just. But anyway, that's a whole different thing. So there are those among us who understand this. Now, I want you to hear what Agrippa said, because it was the Governor Festus who brought in Agrippa, because he didn't know. Paul had appealed to Caesar. He had been there for so long. He appealed to Caesar, which meant that he would be all parceled up and sent off to Rome, and his case presented to Caesar, and then Caesar would judge it, because Paul is a Roman citizen, and nobody could nobody could sentence a Roman citizen to death except for Caesar. They always had the right to appeal to Caesar. So that's what was going on here. So as King Agrippa is leaving, he turns to Festus and he says, this man could have been released. Like, he's done no wrong here. He could have been released if only he hadn't appealed to Caesar. But see, in order for Paul to be before King Agrippa, he had no choice, because there were really two choices that he had that were presented to him. He could go with Governor Festus to Jerusalem to stand before the Sanhedrin, to be tried before the Sanhedrin, even though he had already been tried before the Sanhedrin by the governor before. But Paul knew that there was a plot that he would never make it to Jerusalem. He would never get there because they were waiting on the roadside to ambush him and kill him. That's how much they really hated Paul. And so then the other choice he had was to appeal to Caesar. That you got to understand, like, okay, now what am I going to do here? Like, if I go to Jerusalem, I'm going to die, but if I appeal to Caesar, I could die too. But Paul knew what's on his heart. You see, he wrote to the Romans and he said, listen, I'm going to Spain, and my desire is to stop and spend time with you, that you can bless me and I can bless you. We can exchange blessings here. Like, it was Paul's desire already to go to Rome. The Holy Spirit had already put that desire on him to go to Rome. And here he had the opportunity, a free ticket now, to go to Rome, where he knew he would get the opportunity to present the gospel in the same way that he did it with Agrippa, but he didn't know he was going to see Agrippa yet. In the same way that he did it with Agrippa, he'd do it with Caesar. So of course he wanted to do that. So that's the route he decided to take instead of going to Jerusalem where he would die. So if you're paying attention, if you're paying attention to the desires that the Holy Spirit is putting on your heart, lines up with Father's desire, then decisions aren't all that difficult to make. So when King Agrippa says it's too bad that, no, it's actually very good, because that was the plan. That was the plan. King Agrippa is a bonus. But I wonder what happened to that seed. I wonder what happened to that. Paul planted that seed with King Agrippa. I wonder what happened. That is a question, isn't it? Anyways, I belabored this for you today, but sometimes we need to stop and consider that not everything's going to be a rose garden for us, because in order for Father to get us to the position that he wants us in, sometimes he has to take us through the valleys. Sometimes he has to take us through the shipwrecks. Sometimes he has to take us through the worst of times, but he's got us. He has us. He will protect us in those moments, and he will get us there. Right? Okay, so you guys be blessed today. Be encouraged. Really enjoy your Saturday. And I pray it's not too much work, but better get the shopping in before they shut everything down with COVID, okay? Love you guys. See you Sunday.